Now today we'll be talking about a brake pedal that is slowly going toward the floor. Typically what may happen is you can come up to a stoplight, a traffic light, and as the vehicle is just sitting there, you can feel the brake pedal go all the way to the floor. You may let your foot off, pump it again, and the same thing happens again. It holds pressure, but then the pedal goes back to the floor. So that's indicative of a bad master cylinder. Let me show you on how you can quickly test it and then show you the steps if you do need to replace it. So we currently have the vehicle running, it's in drive, and this is the exact same test you want to do. Make sure the handbrake is off, and I also have a piece of tape at the bottom of the steering wheel, and I've drawn a horizontal line straight across. I also have a tape measure that's attached toward the bottom of the brake pedal, and it's giving me a measurement. So we're at roughly 27¼ inches. So again, do the exact same thing. Start your vehicle, put it in drive, hold down the brake, make sure the handbrake is off, and take a look at the measurement. If you see more than 3/8 of a change, in this case we're perfectly fine. I have no issues whatsoever. But if you do have a sinking brake pedal and it's more than 3/8 of an inch, then that's a very good indication that the master cylinder is bad. Now the master cylinder lives on the driver's side on the firewall, or at the firewall I should say. So right here, this is where the brake fluid lives. So again, there's the engine, this is the shock or the strut tower, and then this is the master cylinder. A couple things you just want to check. Number one is remove the cap, take a look at the opposite end, and make sure that this is in good shape. If this is bulging, expanding, then that's a very good indication that the fluid is contaminated and you need to replace it at the very, very least. So certainly take a look at that. Now if you do have some external leaking going on, let me just turn on a light here. And a wrench. Okay, now again, here's the master cylinder, this is the body. So just visually take a look, and right back here, this is the brake booster. So take a look at the connection where the master cylinder meets the brake booster. See if there is any leakage there. Also take a look at the brake fittings. Now these tend to be incredibly tight, and if you do want to check the tightness of them, use a flare wrench. So if you take a look at this, these are typically 10mm. So 10mm. And if you take a comparison of the flare wrench versus your normal wrench, you can quite see the difference. And I have to apologize, I have a little bit of a cold, so my voice is a little scratchy here, but you get the gist. Just take a look, make sure that you don't see any leaking here. These are nice and tight. Now typically what happens, very, very tight. Now what happens is sometimes these leak internally, and that happened to me a number of years ago. So if you don't see any exterior or external leaks, the cap is in good shape, then you have a problem internally and you just have to replace the master cylinder. You have no choice. Let me give you another shot just so you can see a clearer view, and then we'll go ahead and replace the master cylinder. Now this will give you a better view of what a master cylinder looks like. Here, of course, is the body, and this is, in this case, this is a dual master cylinder. It has two reservoirs, but nonetheless, same thing or same theory applies. You have the reservoir, which holds the brake fluid, and the master cylinder, and the metal brake lines that goes to either each wheel or may go to an ABS control center. This is your brake booster. This you're leaving in place. You do not have to remove this. All that you're doing is removing, in this case, the 4 bolts holding the master cylinder to the brake booster. It's actually quite simple. You just want to remove the fluid, and I'll show you in a second what I mean. Remove the fluid out of the reservoirs, unbolt the connection point to the booster, and then down here you'll have at least 2 connection points of metal brake lines. Use a flare wrench, okay? Don't use a normal wrench, because if this strips, it's going to make your job a lot harder, and this makes it, this wrench makes all the difference in the world when you're working with something like this, okay? Okay, so what I'll be doing is splicing in a video showing on how to remove the master cylinder. Something I did in the past, no need to do it again, and you'll see exactly what it takes to remove it. It's quite simple, to be perfectly honest. Once you have the master cylinder off, you'll reinstall a new one and then bleed the brakes, which I'll also show you from another video that we did. So I'll put everything together right now. If you want to see any of those other videos in its entirety, I'll include a link or 2 links in the description box below showing the full video, but nonetheless, you'll get the idea right now. So let's get right to it. Now the first step is removing the brake fluid from the master cylinder. Now brake fluid is very, very corrosive, so make sure you have a t-shirt lying around, something that can grab the fluid just in case if you spill it. I'm just using a turkey baster, and we'll go ahead and remove the fluid. Now these tend to be pretty darn tight, so get yourself a good grip. So as you can see, it's solid. Here we go. There you go. Okay, and a second one right here. Okay. And the master cylinder is held on to the booster with 4 12mm bolts. Now once you have the new master cylinder installed, what you want to do is add brake fluid in the reservoir. Typically it's .3 brake fluid. If you take a look at the cap, let's see, should say here, it's upside down. Let me just show you very quickly. So right here, .3, that's the brake fluid typically that you need. So you just go to the auto parts store, grab yourself some .3 brake fluid, install it up to the full line, and then start bleeding the brakes. Now as you bleed the brakes, keep an eye on the reservoir. You don't want to let the fluid run too low, because then you're letting air back in the system and you have to start all over again. So just add fluid, keep an eye on this as you bleed the brakes, and let me show you on how you can do that right now. Now today we're showing some different techniques on how you can bleed brakes yourself. So let me show you the first option, which is using a vacuum pump, and then later on I'll show you some other options you can do without the vacuum pump. This is the Mighty Vac. The model is MV8000. Everything you see here is included in the kit. Generally around $30, that's what they run for. I'll include a link in the description box below to Amazon if you want to purchase one of these. But essentially you have the pump, we have a little small vinyl hose, maybe 2.5 inches, and you zip tie the ends, okay, because you don't want any air leaks. Container, and then another piece of hosing, maybe 5-6 inches in length. Again, zip tie the ends. Usually if you have an air leak, it's going to be right here. Now let me put this down. Now also, inside here, I have another maybe 3 inches worth of hosing as well. This you don't have to zip tie. And sometimes I'll put some grease on top of the container just to prevent as much air leakage as possible. But you want to make sure this is real tight. So let me hook this up to the bleeder, and I'll show you this technique. Again, 2 other techniques right after this. Now right in the rear of the caliper, you have the brake bleeder. So just place the wrench on there, okay? Then take the end of the hose, and then I'll zip tie this as well. Again, you want to prevent as many air leaks as possible. Okay, let me get this, and then what you're going to do. Now the whole point of brake bleeding is to retrieve the air out of the system. So this makes the job very, very easy, very quick as well. So first test and make sure that it's holding pressure, which it is. As you can see, the needle is not dropping back down, so everything is nicely sealed. Then open up the bleeder valve, quarter of a turn, okay? And the old fluid, let me close this off, the old fluid will end up in this jar, and then get rid of it. In other words, recycle it. Don't put it back at the master cylinder because it's old fluid. You want to refill the master cylinder with new fluid, and I'll show you in a moment what I mean. So again, pump it up, open the valve. You just do this maybe 5-6 times on each wheel, and you generally you'd be perfectly fine. The other thing is if you have ABS, disconnect the negative terminal to the battery because you have sensors on each wheel. So very, very important, make sure you do that, or you can disconnect the ABS sensor at the wheel, okay? So do it again. Open up the valve. And let me come in for a close-up just to show you what the air bubbles look like, and we'll jump over to the master cylinder. Again, you don't want to make sure the master cylinder does not run dry, and I'll show you that as well. Okay, we have pressure. Open this up a little bit. not a lot, maybe a quarter turn. And as you can see, this is pretty clean. Small amount of air bubbles. Generally, when you first do this, the air bubbles will be quite large, okay? Close it off. Just do a couple of times. Now let's also check the master cylinder to see how the fluid is doing. So you never want to let the master cylinder run dry. If you let it run dry, then essentially your air is entering back in the system and you'll have to repeat the process all over again. So very, very important, just keep on topping off the fluid as you do this. When the old fluid ends up in that container, just discard it. Don't reuse it, okay? Now, let me show you another technique if you do not have the vacuum pump. Now, option 2 is finding some type of apparatus that you can use to press against the brake pedal. And that will allow you to get out of the vehicle, open up the bleeder, let all the air out, close the bleeder, come back in, and repeat the process. So let me just explain it, and then I will show it right after. So what you want to do is pump the brake pedal 3 times. In this case, we'll use a dumbbell. We'll place the dumbbell against the brake pedal. That will hold it down. Then we can get out of the vehicle, open up the bleeder, let all the air bubbles out of the brake, close off the bleeder, come back to the vehicle, and repeat the process. It's time consuming, but it's essentially the same thing if you had someone helping you. They're just holding the brake pedal down. That's all they're doing. They're holding the brake pedal down, you're opening up the bleeder, closing it, and then they're pumping the brake again 3 times, holding it, you're opening up the bleeder, and just, that's all that they're doing. So this essentially replaces that person, but again, it takes time. The other option is if you have electric seats, this makes it very, very easy. You grab a piece of wood that you can wedge between the seat and the brake pedal, and as you're sitting in the car, you pump the brakes 3 times, hold it with your foot, and then move the seat forward. And when the wood makes contact with the brake pedal, it's going to hold it. You can move your foot, and now the piece of wood is wedged, and that also works. So either one. So let me show you both techniques, and we'll wrap everything up here. So pump it 3 times, hold it down, grab your dumbbell, whatever you're going to use. Now the other technique is using a piece of wood. Pump your brake, hold it down, and then I am gracefully okay, and that's it. That's actually in a sense easier than lugging around a dumbbell. Go to the brake, bleed it. So those are the steps involved if you do need to replace a master cylinder. If any of this makes you nervous, simply don't do it. You could bring it to someone that's qualified to do it, but if they're trying to upsell you or provide you with more services or trying to trick you even, at least now you know the steps involved if you do need to do this work on your vehicle. Any questions, comments, please leave it below. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next time.